Start second guessing yourself by forgetting something.
Every morning before school started
Yeah.
or at the beginning.
Want to welcome everybody. The online crowd. Hope if you're there, we welcome you. There is a significant chance that online is not working, but we will. It seems to be great. Well, those of you that are watching online, welcome to the meeting. We had a regular council meeting last month. Has everybody had opportunity to read through the minutes?
I'll make a motion. We have the minutes from September
September the 15th.
15th.
Okay. Rhonda and Tyler, all in favor of accepting them?
Aye.
I vote. I have a few kind of details that for the property that is at 307 East Main. It's a property that the town owns, and tonight is the official notice that that property is up for sale, and the town will be taking bids starting tomorrow through 12 p.m. on November the 14th. The bids will be then opened prior to the meeting on the 17th. So that is the process that we're required to go through. But this is our official notice of that property sale, and bids will be accepted starting tomorrow. That is 307 East Main Street, parcel 27-05-26-202-019-000-028. If you're looking for the parcel number, if you're interested, feel free. The minimum bid set by the town is $25,000. So that is the approach that we'll take based on our requirement to sell real property that is owned by the town.
It seems like a high price. I'm not advocating to change it, but how did you arrive at that? The cost to level it?
We'll be recovering our costs that we spent to take the house down. I think there's a few legal fees involved. Is the initial, that's kind of the initial thought behind it.
And it is zoned business and residential both?
I would have to look again, but I believe that it is. But I would have to verify. So with that process underway, make a motion, we accept resolution 07-2025, which is a resolution for the sale of real property.
I'll second.
Aaron and Mike, all in favor?
Aye.
5-0. Another just official notification, the town entered into a lease for a 70 by 70 area that will be immediately west of the water tower. A cell tower that will be erected there. Don't know exactly the timing of that process, but the town still maintains ownership of the property via lease that is in essence an ongoing lease. The rental goes up every 5 years by 10%. The per month rental. And the rent that we'll be receiving initially be $750 a month.
What provider is
Don't know. It's a
top secret?
well, I don't know that it's top secret, but the company that does the leasing is not the company that is going to use the tower, so I don't have an answer to that question. We get notified, but from the post office that that lease, that lease has also been signed and will likely not actually get placed until spring, I would expect. But that is also in place, and I would think, as we haven't started receiving that lease payment, have we yet? I would think it's coming though, because it seemed like it was within 2 months of signing the agreement. It seems like when they started paying the monthly rent.
Yeah.
Or the monthly lease.
I think the supposed to start actually this month.
In October or November is what I, so.
You get 10 million a year for that.
Just a little shy of that, but real close, yeah.
Silly guy.
Gotta ask.
I will start with the public. Don, have you got anything?
Well, yeah, a couple of the grant requests we worked on. One was T-Mobile for the third quarter in a row. I have not heard anything back. Don't anticipate maybe until November sometime. The same request with some different sense of urgency. Total of about $44,000 to work toward the pickleball court and the paving of the lot. We're successful on the two grants we applied for relative to the police radio equipment. So our current treasurer is Andrew Wood, but he has turned everything over to me. He has an extremely busy schedule, and I understand he's missed several weeks. So temporarily, I am having my wife help me be the record-keeping clerk, but I have the checkbook. If that's what we want to do, I can cut the check and bring it to the town tomorrow. One was $6,100 and one was $6,027. So just say a little over $12,100 we would give it to you. I do have to report back to the Community Foundation, who oversees the endowment for round robins. So there is some paperwork, they just want to know that we did what we asked. And so I might, at this point, I don't see that I need to request proof that we bought the radios, but in the event, I'll let you know, Dennis. I think we won't, so. And as far as I know that I talked to Josh, and one of the things he needed fairly quickly was a computer system for AMCAR. So I don't see that that's an issue. I mean, to me, it's hand in hand with the radio equipment.
It's all
It's a
communication.
form of communication, so.
Thank you for your
Thank
efforts
you.
on that.
Sure. How many dumpsters did we actually get placed? When at the cleanup? I mean, was it two? I know it was more than.
There were
two.
3 today when I was down there.
Still there.
They were there at 1 o'clock. 3 dumpsters were there.
Okay,
And by the way, Tyler, who works for On Point, helped this old woman and old man get her stuff in the dumpsters because it's like 10 feet tall. So if you talk to On Point, Tyler, I don't know his last name,
I don't either.
offered to help, and I saw him helping somebody else. He had come to get a dumpster.
oh,
So,
yes.
I appreciate
I
that.
know they got filled up real, I just had a few
Yeah.
minor things that were too long to put in the trash.
The 20-yard and 40-yard that got full that evening, so they had to bring empty ones.
That was on Saturday though, right?
That one Friday.
Friday, yeah, Friday, you're right, it was Friday.
Well, no, Thursday, because they brought them out Thursday, and then they were there all weekend. So yeah, that was, they came on that Thursday and took 2 dumpsters. They were already full.
They were full today, and 3 that were there.
It's just something for the future, maybe we ask them, but you might try and have a third event at some point in time. Obviously, people need that. I know that you didn't negotiate that with them, but
Well, no, they were coming back like and emptying or dropping off an empty one and taking a full one, like all weekend.
Yeah, there'll probably be a total of 8 or 10 that have actually been taken out by the time they're all gone.
I know that I had a couch to dispose of. And what was several months ago, but there is nowhere in Grant County that you could take it. You couldn't take it to Gas City to the recycling center. You couldn't take it. We don't have a landfill per se. They told me to take it either to Wabash or to forget the other one, even farther. And I kind of assumed that I might have had to been a resident. You know, a lot of times you have to prove residency. I know I inquired about taking it to Marion, but if you didn't have proof that you were a Marion City resident, you could. So it is a big need. So great to see that it was utilized so much. Just wondering.
Could be less trash in town.
Yeah.
I did call Mark Story last week. Talked to him about the property, the funeral home. Their intent, and then I actually had a meeting in person with him this morning. Their intent is he would like to sell it. It's part of kind of a retirement plan that he's laid out for himself over the next several years. I was blunt and asked him to consider donating it, and at this time, that was not an option, and I understood his reasons, which I also reached out to, can't remember the gentleman's name, but I do have it, who was trying to develop the bar possibly into a restaurant. I sent him a text information and carbon mark in on it. Told him about the facility, that maybe they would want to look at it before it gets listed. Obviously, there's no realtor involved, it might go cheaper. He said he would talk with his investor and get back to me, and I haven't heard. My understanding, there was a water break inside there last summer sometime. I think that's been repaired to the best of my knowledge, but I don't honestly know. And it has an apartment in there, but the price that he was talking in the range of was $200,000 to $210,000. Know that the gentleman who contacted us about the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu I asked him if he'd already talked to him. That was more than they obviously were looking for. So said, well, things change. We'd like to have it. You can donate it to us, take a charitable contribution. He had done that with one of the properties, so he was very familiar with the process. And think that's about all I have at the present time.
Thanks, Don. Thanks again for the efforts on the grants that were awarded. That really helpful. And
Well, it was a public safety issue and Josh gave me a lot of good background information and it was all included. And I said, this isn't just kind of a want, you know, and they looked at it, I think, differently, as it being a true public safety need. No problem. So, do you, as a board, just want me to cut a check to the town since most of the purchases have been made by the town?
I think that would be the clean and simple.
Yeah,
and
I
easy.
agree, but I just, if you want us to pay a vendor, we can do that, but
Well, I
imagine
get
that's
that.
all
You
we
could
pay.
speak to that if it's whatever would be easiest for you.
Stroke your check,
Yeah, that's fine.
I will put it in the mail.
And then, and then I can give you receipts on everything that we paid for, so you have it for your records.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, no problem. It'll be there sometime tomorrow.
You got anything for us tonight?
Just a quick question, is there a schedule for leaf pickup yet? Are they gonna be?
Well, typically we run the month of November. That has been what has been the typical schedule. Yeah, depending on what day the first falls on a Friday, so it might be Monday the 3rd. And sometimes that's a little dependent if we would have weather-wise, if leaves are getting piled up earlier than that, but
Yeah.
at this point, I think that first week of November.
Or I don't have to be a meeting we had last year, but.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I will have a mountain at some point. It's just a matter of when.
And
But-
we will post it.
Once there's a set date, we'll post it. That's fair. But plan on the first week of November.
If we put it on the town signs, there's nothing up there right now.
Yeah, we'd be able to do that.
We could put it on our sign too, probably. If you let us know. Derek Patterson's been wonderful. He took that duties over from me this past summer and he gets it done.
Yeah.
So if you see anything.
You want
he
us
does
to
a
put it on
wonderful
there
job.
because I contact him if you want. Okay.
So yeah, once you know the exact
Sure.
date that you think you're gonna do,
I let a kid play mine too long last year and I never moved it to the road.
Rodney, do you got anything?
yeah.
Harold Don's son, so.
Harold, have you got anything for us?
I always have something for you there.
Okay.
Now, several of you attended that meeting with economic development where we looked at the TIF district. And at the current time, doesn't look viable. If it should ever become viable, it's a 2-month process and we'd have plenty of time. However, this town has got to have some money. I don't know what the tax is, I don't know what it's called. But we need to start that process to generate some money every year. So you have some money to operate on, because my wonderful state governor has really put a hurt on every school, now every small school, every small town in this state. So we are going to have to bite the bullet. But that you need a little money to operate too. And I've told a couple of people I will actively campaign for that. I'll go door to door. Because you can't continue to run on nothing. So that's my sermon for the night.
Capital cumulative improvement, is that what it's called?
Yeah. It's cumulative capital improvement fund. Capital development improvement fund.
Oh. And I would say that us as a organization, the Economic Development Corporation, thinks that that's an absolute must. And it won't really, it'll help make up some shortfall, it probably won't make up shortfall that you're gonna be faced with, but probably been something that should have been done 20 years ago.
I know, when I first started, I looked into about doing TIF, but we don't qualify for it. And Kathy from Converse helped, looked into it, and I mean, we didn't qualify for it.
The cumulative capital,
No, TIF, I'm sorry.
oh,
TIF.
yeah.
Yeah, TIF. Yeah.
Well, we can do TIF. We had a great meeting. And we came away to the conclusion, this is not the time. But, the town decides the TIF. And we
Right.
do have some processes.
Yeah, there's a process involved,
Yeah.
but when we were looking at the cost in comparison to the revenue that it could generate over time, there's just not enough opportunity right now to generate enough revenue to justify.
Right.
If we get to a point where we are certain that there will be new investment, new growth, then we could pursue it. Like you said, it takes about 2 months to get the process going, but that would be an option at whatever point we became aware that there was a business opportunity to grow that we might be able to capitalize on. But at this point, the cost just doesn't justify
There's a couple options on of things similar to a cumulative fund in a roundabout way. I mean, end result, you're trying to achieve expendable money, right? And there's a couple different sources of being able to do that. And I think we as a board just need to look into all of those.
Well, we certainly encourage it. Harold alluded to this Senate Bill 1 fiasco, which I don't think you know exactly how badly you're gonna be hurt yet. But it also, it's gonna affect any validity of TIF being in the whole town. Didn't make sense to do that, so we need it to be commercial areas. But I am going to that meeting. Wayne Westgate and Mike Schrock from the development, we're gonna go to that meeting, which is a week from Thursday, a week from Wednesday, another 8 or 9 days. So he said that you guys had received invitations.
the dinner.
Yes. So, I'm going for one reason, and that is I'd like to better understand this process.
Yeah, and the reality is, and the reason that we may have some difficult decisions to make is that in 2026, the town's appropriated money, so money from the state, is going to be reduced by about 5%. In 2027, 7% more. In 2028, 9% more. So that will become a pretty substantial amount of money that we will have to figure out how to provide the services that we provide on less money, or look into potential other revenue sources. Nobody wants a tax increase. That is one option. We have a couple different options there that would generate revenue that would help compensate for that revenue loss. So we have some hard decisions to make, but it's based on the reality that we have now are certain that our revenue is going to decrease pretty substantially over the next 3 years. So that's a little background as to why are we talking about whether it be the cumulative capital development or any other tax increase or TIF. Those are all of those conversations have been kind of generated off of this understanding that revenue is going to change moving forward. So we will certainly keep everybody posted as those decisions are made, as it'll in some respects impact all of us moving forward. So got anything for us, Brady?
Yeah, you mentioned 307 East Main Street.
Yes.
Does the town have any kind of plan if they're unable to acquire a $25,000?
Not specifically. We're hopeful that we'll get that bid. So,
Well, let's just back up the road a little bit.
Okay.
303 East Main, that property, I mean, that's been in limbo for a long time.
about 6 months less than 307.
Yeah,
You're right.
The restaurant here looks like they're starting an auto body repair out there. You know, what's going on with these properties around town? It seems like we've kind of, at one point, we were chasing stuff and then just kind of stopped.
Well, I think that's a fair assessment. I think you chase and then you relax a little bit and then you chase again and you relax a little bit. 303, have we been in touch? Because it's changed ownership at some point along the line.
The person that owns it now is still the same person, and we have something that where he's being charged so much a day, and that's still adding up.
And
that's something I do need to talk to Kyle about, like, we could, like, go ahead and, like, do we need to put a lien on that house, or, I mean, it's something.
yes.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah, the owner was incarcerated at one point, so that creates for a challenge on. It is hard to work on. I don't know if he still is or not. But, okay.
He's still working on?
No,
He's incarcerated. Guess you know where to find him.
So challenges like that.
And where to serve paperwork.
I'll let you hear in a second. So with the 303, I happened to go by there again today and I had the same thoughts like, got to.
I don't know if it's because I know it's like probably more than what the house is worth. I didn't know that's something I need to talk to Kyle about. If that's something we can to say, because he's being charged daily now. I think it's like $50 a day, honestly. Yeah.
That'll happen. Sounds like another
And
great
that
opportunity to just give it to the town, let us tear it down.
That changes bill when they put that on there, on that order on there.
Well, it's not saying that it says
Kyle did, yeah, Kyle did it. I can definitely ask him if we can foreclose on whatever.
I can speak to Ivisa at the restaurant.
Ivisa is trying to move forward. She has taken everything out of the restaurant and put it in the tent out back. And then they did all the plumbing and all the wiring inside, and then they have moved it back into the restaurant. She's got a floor plan. That's the restaurant. I asked her how long. She said a year, but she's Ivisa. And her chef, Pedro, has moved back to Portugal. So that thing that's down there now was his. So I don't know what's going to become of that. And she took her food truck, and I don't know why. I haven't seen her for a couple weeks. So, but at times I feel like she's moving forward, and other times she's not. I've even asked her if she would be interested in selling it to somebody else, and no. So there we go.
She came and gave the plans of what they were going to build on the outside and inquired about permit. But I don't think Jake was able to get a hold of her to get it completed.
Okay,
So that's,
I can get, because that was her biggest hangup with me was a building permit. She thought it was expensive and a long drawn out and I can, no, go to the town hall. And there's a language barrier too. It's sometimes hard to get things across, but I will get in touch with her then. So Jake,
I know Jake's been in contact with her, but
okay,
I don't know like the whole, why they haven't got it done yet but I haven't seen it.
but she did start the process for a building permit.
Came and gave Jake the plans.
Okay. All right, I will give her a little call.
We should probably ask her what her intention is, but there are 3 vehicles there.
One doesn't have license plates.
Yeah, that
Okay,
probably needs to come as a correspondence from you, Josh.
I did try calling her, last week, my tent flew over and I got no response.
When you talk to her about that, can you see when she's getting her own dumpster so she stops using other businesses' dumpsters?
She was definitely using Chuck Wagon's dumpster and Brian caught him. And it said, I mean, they filled it up and it's like overflowing. And Brian said, you owe me $200 because you filled up my dumpster. Now I have nowhere to put my trash.
Well, that's not appropriate.
No, not at all.
For him too, is she did it the first week after he had dumped. So now he's got to go the whole rest of the month
Yeah, well.
with no dumpster.
This brings up that's obviously not a zoning consideration, but, we've talked about the zoning ordinances. I'd like to propose that, I guess you're in charge of the zoning area, that you guys go through and select and break it into, I don't know how many parts it takes. I have no idea, whether it's 10 parts, 20 parts, whatever. But I'd like to see you take one, maybe prioritize and take one part, get that all revamped and redone the way you want, and then implement that. And then, what I'm saying, rather than get the whole hog, give me a ham and then a pork belly and then a pork shoulder or whatever. It would be easier to crack a nut like that, because that's a major. I mean, when you're, how old is that zoning? 30, 40, 50 years?
Parts of it's
Yeah, parts of
parts of it's older,
hundreds.
about hat making business.
So we know that,
I've got a copy of Converse's brand new one.
okay, I sent you the Gas City one too, right?
No,
Send it again, but I have Gas City's full entire ordinance. There's actually 2 of them, one relative to subdivisions, one relative to everything. I'll resend it to you here, Mike.
yeah, I'm going through Converse and seeing how different it needs to be, and so far it looks like something that we wouldn't have to change very much. It's a
I think
real
Jake
real
has
good.
Greentown as well. Have you got, is he giving you that one?
No, he's the one that gave the Converse.
He's got Greentown also.
He's tried to email that to me 3 times.
Okay.
So,
You've got a zoning board. You
Yeah.
don't have to do it you've got a zoning board.
Yeah. well,
5 guys that can help you. You don't have to do it all by yourself.
I was going to go through it
Okay.
from my standpoint and make any changes I want and bring it up to whoever.
That just needs, then that will give us teeth as the community to talk to people. I've sent letters 3 times to 10 miles and response. And I'm nice about it, but please fix the fascia. Just please,
Yeah, the hard parts, things like that, yes, we want it done, but it's not an ordinance violation.
but it
It's,
could be.
well, maybe, depending on,
If you're rewriting ordinances, you want to take into consideration things that property owners, especially commercial property owners,
Yeah.
should adhere to some standards and repair
Yes.
storm damage within a suitable time. I'm not picking on him. I mean, we could go through and get a bunch
Oh,
of
yeah, for sure.
situations, but right now, I don't. We just hope that people will do. But I understand.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my 2 cents on zoning.
Anything else, Brady? Okay. Shift over to Brittany.
Yeah, I guess I mean, I would really like to talk about the website. I'm waiting on, if there are any other edits that has everybody been able to access the test site?
Well, I looked on it just recently, but I didn't see anything even remotely.
Well, what she's talking about, you don't have access to. We're in the
Right,
process.
but I mean, I didn't see any. And I'm going to the Town of Swayzee.org, right? Or Swayzee.org. Is that the website you're talking about?
No, this is the test site.
Yeah, we're in the process of changing the web service and website. So what you would have access to is still valid, but what
It
Brittany's
just
talking
didn't have a lot of updated information.
is we're in the process of changing that pretty significant.
Yes. So my question is for council members, if you've had access to the site, and if there are any other changes that you want to make, I can forward those on. So
I don't know that I got it.
I don't think I,
Yeah, it would have happened before Tyler came on.
yeah, I'll send you the blog.
It has been a long time since I've tried. So can you just resend it to everybody? And
No problem.
have you gotten Rhonda, when she went through it, you put together just things that you noticed, right? Have you gotten that?
Yes, and I sent her stuff onto them as well. Yes. Yeah, I can definitely resend that information to you guys. And we'll obviously need to get new photos of you guys updated. But other than that, I mean, once we get all your edits to me, then I can send that on. And then I'll send you guys do another round of edits. And then you can look over again. When we go live, it won't necessarily be like, it'll be a testing live, which I know this is kind of weird to say, but like, it'll be live, but they can easily make changes to it. It's not like set in stone. And then I'm gonna have access to obviously change it in the future too. Email information. Last time we talked about getting a quote, and really they're waiting on us to give them information. I need to set up a meeting with Des and me to talk about if you guys want to have your own email addresses for council members, for town employees with swayzee.lion.gov. So if that is the case, we would need to let them know and then they would give us a quote. If that makes sense.
We have to say yes before we agree to it.
We don't have to agree to it. We can just say, okay, we want to have let's say we want 10 emails. Then they would work that in through if you want to stay with Microsoft or go with Microsoft or Google, that would be incorporated into that too. So then they would get the quote.
I think you guys can stay with Gmail. It's just like the town website. I think
Or
it should be,
Josh.
yeah. I think it should just be the town website and the police.
Probably utilities ought to have.
Yeah.
Do you know, how do they package them together? Is it from 0 to 10 or is it change individually?
I'm assuming it's like maybe like this is just a number. It could be like up to 5 emails for a
Are
number.
they
Yeah.
5 to 10 or 5 to 20 or what?
Approximately what's the monthly fee?
Yeah, do you have any indication as to what?
They didn't even have that. Yeah, their website doesn't even have that.
I would say absolutely get them. Let's
Okay.
say yes,
All right.
and then we can make a decision. Okay, no, we don't want to spend for 3 emails. We don't want to spend $30 a month or what, whatever it is.
Yeah,
I would say absolutely. I think there'd be value in having the consistency of email for everybody, but if it's cost prohibitive, we can make that decision after we get a number.
Josh, I guess already does it. She pays $7 a month for it.
you do it for,
Through good workspace, but.
space.
Yeah, it's through I got with the state, same thing you did prior to that.
Okay.
And have them set up for the police department,
Oh, that's good.
their own website.
Okay.
So would that continue after we make a change, or could that be incorporated into what we're doing?
So basically, when you will click on the police department on the town's website, it will forward it to the site that the state created for me. For the police department.
And it works.
Mhm.
So why reinvent the wheel, right?
What's it?
Why reinvent the wheel if it's working?
If he's one for $7,
Yeah, I guess, I mean, cost effectiveness, the goal would be so that you wouldn't have people harassing your personal email. Like you would actually have like an official council email to deal with just council stuff. But other than that, I mean, that's up to you guys.
I would say get a price and, so then we can make that decision based on, does it seem reasonable for whatever they're wanting to charge?
Yeah, I'll talk to Des. So we'll set up a call to get the quote. Yeah, other than that, like, social media stuff. I thought you guys might like to see some of the stats that we have currently, with our audience. Our biggest age groups are from 35 to 44 and 45 to 54. 70% is women, 27% is men. So I thought that was real interesting. So you guys should know that we have a very active older crowd in our audience. So yeah, I thought that was real interesting. And then I think what I need to get with Jake, because his post about the utility information with like the how to treat your plumbing hit really big. So that was shared over or seen over 2,000 times. So yeah, the big waves. So I kind of want to get with him and see like what other ideas he has for that kind of stuff. Maybe try to get like a bi-weekly tip or something like that. So yeah, that kind of topic's always it's real strong. So yeah, and then I'm just scheduling all the holiday announcements and closings, things like that.
Any questions for Brittany? It's not here tonight, but one thing and we had had a chance to chat about it, with the water plant, we are gonna do a renovation of our filter system, which needs to be done every 10 to 12 years, and it's been about that, so it's just time. We've had a couple conversations about how we're gonna try to pay for it, and feel like we're gonna be able to pay for it and not finance it. It'll come in 3 stages. Each stage will be $38,521. And we have 3 filters. So we will do the service and renovation on 1 filter at a time so that 2 of the 3 stay online through the process. That way we have consistency in the filter media through that process. Uh, we will, his intention, Peerless Midwest will be the company doing the work, they have done a lot of work in our water plant and they will likely try to do the first one this fall before it gets cold. And then it will be a little bit based on weather. They don't want to let the new filter media sit outside if it gets real cold. So there may be a period where there's a gap in between number 1 and number 2. His hope and his intention is to have our intention with the timeline that we've set out is to have all 3 finished before the end of June, which is typically our high water usage our water usage increases midway through June. So our hope is to have all 3 finished prior to that typical increase of volume. So that quote is 38,521 for each filter. And I make a motion that we accept the Peerless Midwest bid and get that process started.
A second.
And Mike, any questions? All in favor? 5-0.
This is the second meeting for the 2026 budget, and I have it from an Aaron ordinance 2025-3, and that needs to be signed and adopted today. And I have to submit it to Gateway. And I talked to Tyler in regards to PD, so I did switch some numbers on Josh's area.
She had 3,000 as a vehicle maintenance, and we were in the red on that this year. With the age of the vehicles, there was some extra in insurance, and we pulled 3,000 out of there and doubled it to 6,000.
I'll make a motion that we accept ordinance 2025-03, which is the appropriation and tax rate for 2026.
I'll second.
Aaron and Heather. Questions or comments? All in favor? 5-0.
And September meeting, Jay asked to hire a part-time person to help him in water and wastewater. And we did hire a gentleman named Adam Williams. So he started working.
About 3 weeks ago now. It's just a
Like
week
2
after.
days right after.
Yeah, it's right after.
I think he
Does
started.
he live here in town? Did he grow up in Swayzee?
No, he's from.
Okay.
Not from here.
All right.
Yeah,
He-
California. He moved to
Yeah,
California.
You used to live in California.
He lives, yeah. I think he has a Marion address or
I don't remember.
Monverse address.
About Jake's name.
Yeah.
But he lives on 13 by Jake.
Yes, maybe even right next door.
Mhm.
Right.
Yep, so he was hired.
Been very helpful when I talked to him.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with Jake and he's pleased with how things are going so far. And there's a learning curve, but he's
How did the week does he work?
Up to 30. And then, I know we discussed the rate increases. I'm gonna get it advertised and we will make it a public meeting for November and then adopt or approve in December, and then the rates will start in January. So I'll have all that paperwork for the next meeting and have it to you guys, so you guys can see everything.
Approximately how much will the increase be? In dollars, if you know, if you don't know, that's fine too.
I don't know off the top of my head how that. Because this is just for water. January 1 is just the water.
So I gotta get with Sean Klein Peter. And
But you'll know the next meeting.
yeah.
Because it's a percentage, so it's each
Yeah.
person's is a little bit different based on usage.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to send.
Like you said, an average of about $9 a month. All right. Maybe that's over two.
I think that's over both steps, because the intention is one in January and one in July. With the intention of trying to spread out that cost a little bit over the course of the year, the increase.
I thought it was like 674 for the water increase for. It was gonna be like 29.75 for water, and right now it's 23, so it's only going up like $6.74. Don't quote me, but I'll
And the minimum.
We've got January 1 and then another one in July 1, right?
one January 1 and then July 1st, yeah. And then that's like another 3.
I think the total is just under $10 for the
Yeah,
year.
that's kind of what
When
we
you
talked about.
add the January 1
That'd be like
and
33.73, starting in July with water. Yeah.
You see Gas City just raised theirs.
what's that?
See Gas City just raised theirs.
I did not.
I think we're the cheapest
It
around.
was online. There's a, hang on, I'll pull it up real quick. It's, I didn't know, looking at it, how to compare ourselves. You know, it's what they were charging, but
We're steel, it's going water.
On
so
water.
much stuff.
Water.
It was pretty crazy, if I remember right.
They're really not everything, water, electric.
And
Here it is. Typical household around 6,000 gallons a month would see bills go from $48 to $65. How does that compare to us?
well, 6,000 gallons is a lot of usage compared to our billing, a minimum user is 2,000 gallons.
Okay.
So obviously a house might use more than 2,000 gallons, like my house, for example, but so I don't know how that would compare to figure up a 6,000 gallon user. I don't know.
Sorry, this is wastewater. It's sewer.
Oh, it's a sewer
It's
increase.
sewer rate. The minimum went from 23.20 to 31.35 by 2030.
So $8, which, that's the reality that we're going to face as well, because we are still in the process of working through, our wastewater plant. As soon as, just as since we're on that, as an update, as soon as this government shutdown gets back online, we will be able to submit the response, the final response to comments made with our USDA RD application. So we should be, once the website is not taking applications at the moment. So that's why it hasn't been updated or uploaded, but as soon as the government's back online, then we will have our final submission for that. And then it will be wait to see what they will write us a letter of conditions and if we're able to get any grant money, how that will develop. But that is an update that I got just a couple days ago.
I did learn in the meeting this morning that Sweetser is having to do huge renovations to their sewer plant. Or some big, I don't know the specific issues, but I said, well, how old is it? They said 13 years old.
Yeah, it's not, I think it's not even 30, it's just gonna be 13 in the
And
spring.
I don't know what at all, but the guy told me it sounded pretty major.
Well, yeah, I think they are looking $5 or $6 million updates, which is almost building a new plant, which is crazy, hard to understand all that, but
There apparently were some design issues somewhere. Success.
yeah, they have some frustrations with some of the design. I know Patrick has mentioned that. It's an enclosed building, which is part of the problem.
Yeah.
When you've got all kinds of water inside an enclosed building, that is just asking for trouble in the long run.
I know a friend of mine was involved with lighting quotes and he goes, this is inside. They'll never, the stuff will never last.
Yeah.
It'll corrode too fast. Oh, well, we're smarter than we really give ourselves credit for.
Ours will not be enclosed.
Ours will not be enclosed for sure.
Yeah, I think the sidewalk, they're complete. I know. His name is Jake too, Jacob. It's finished in other little projects that we had him do, like the sidewalk over there, and I had him fix this one over here, and he still has to complete that other section where that tree came out. Just right down here in front of this house right here. Still waiting on payment from Collins for their half. So they've not paid anything yet. And then Tom Taylor came in the office and came in and said, I did my sidewalk. When are you going to pay me my half? So I explained the process to him, and then he said he turned in an application, which I do not have an application for him. So
he's already complete. He's already had the sidewalk replaced.
He had it back done like the beginning of June. I believe it was beginning of June. But yeah, I mean, the process wasn't met, and I did not receive an application from him.
Who is Lincoln Street? Past the bushes in the front of the house.
Oh yeah, it is Lincoln, yeah. And he also put a curb out there.
He's the one that his house was on fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He dug it.
He said he was gonna come to this meeting. But, so I did want to give you a heads up on that. I mean.
Did he say what the amount was?
I have no information on anything, and he just came into the office. I think
And he
it
used his own guy, not the town's.
no,
Okay.
he used, I don't know what contractor and how much he paid. I have no information. And then I don't know if you've been communicating with USPS Joe Ganini or whatever.
He is one of the engineers.
Okay, well, he called and wanted our address, so I gave him our address, and then he said that they're gonna be starting construction on the post office early spring of 2026, and it should be completed in the fall of 2026. So that's, he did say that, so I didn't want to report that. And then council meeting in December, are we doing it on the 15th of December? I just want to make sure. That's the 3rd. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Far enough away from.
Okay. And Christmas party, you guys want to do a Christmas party?
Don't typically think about parties. if you
Yeah,
have
no,
one.
but it's time, you know, what? Nice meeting.
Unfortunately, you have to, because they book out.
This is so true.
Whoever's gonna be here, you know, and so something to think about. That's all I have.
Got the MPH line item of you moved some.
Oh, yes. We did the second year because I had so much in VH that we want to balance the budget. We reduced MVH $45,000. It just helped so I can carry that money over to the next year.
That means that we just won't spend that this fall yet.
Right.
So
It's
that
from
it's
now until December.
then incorporated into next year's budget without reducing.
Right.
Which paper am I looking at?
You won't see this is
Oh.
a resolution that we're getting
Okay,
ready to
okay.
pass.
So it doesn't go to other accounts. It stays in the MVH, but it's like a savings
Yeah,
account.
so
for
we
it.
can carry that
I
money over
understand.
to the next year. And that resolution is in front of, Aaron, sorry for that.
I make a motion that we pass resolution 2025-06, which is the $45,000 that she will roll over into 2026 budget, meaning we will not spend that money this fall.
Make the motion.
Aaron, Tyler, any questions? Comments? All in favor? Josh?
So starting off, our monthly call volume at 293 calls. Brings our year-to-date total up to 2,580. Vehicle maintenance, we had some issues. On my Charger, the 2013, I sent you guys an email over the weekend regarding that, but the oil was one of the issues, and then the lower heater hose blew out, so it's just dumping coolant. So I had to switch out of that into the 2014 Dodge Charger. And that was the rear taillights. I was made aware of the rear taillights not working correctly. But I was able to get that situated and fixed today. So temporarily I'll be in that until we can figure out what we want to do with the 2013 as far as repair.
Did you get a quote for the repairs on that?
I did get for the oil, but not for the coolant, since it just occurred this week. But I can definitely take it over and drop it off and have him look at it and see what we're looking at as far as cost wise.
Do you remember what the oil or the oil seal was?
I want to say it was around $1,000. It was the oil cooler starting to separate, and then the valve cover, which the valve cover he said wasn't a big deal. He said why he was fixing the oil cooler, he could go ahead and replace that or fix that and choose like if we wanted to. But it was more the oil cooler, it's the oil issue. But yeah, I can drop it off and have him check out the coolant issue.
Yeah, let's do that.
You know what I'm gonna say? This car is 12 years old. Why are we still putting money into it?
Because the new one's 40 grand.
Can we put back like we did for the truck?
I would like to table it till executive,
Oh, okay.
if we can.
It's,
Well, we've put back money before for a truck each year and paid cash for it, close to it. We might need to, okay.
Yeah, and I did get some quotes for new vehicles, just to give you guys a heads up, and we're looking more like 65,000
Oh,
or so.
gosh.
That's fully updated.
do a lot of repairs.
Yeah, so they went up drastically, and trying to get certain ones, the only thing that you can get right now, through a couple of the places that I got quotes are Durangos or Ford Utilities. So just to give you guys a heads up on.
We tried to figure out how to make application to the USDA for that, which Bill Rock indicated to us, if we get 50 grand every year, it's a no-brainer. Well, when I did that earlier this year, kind of got shuffled around, but I got to a guy who said, don't bother. And I thought, well, that's a hell of a thing. I told him, I said, I want to bother me. You send me the information, yes. And he never did, so I had reached out to,
Were they doing away with that program? Did I hear that? Remember that from
I'm sorry,
somewhere along the line? I thought I remembered they were doing away with that program.
well, it's not funded right now.
That's
Okay.
anything with USDA doesn't have any money to work with at the moment.
But the thing is, we should still go ahead and get in the pecking order.
I don't just,
And we have never gotten that, so I reached out to, the other Miller, I'm sorry, your cousin, what's his name?
Jason.
Jason. And I said, would you just do me a favor? Just send me the form that you guys sent in on behalf of Gas City. It was successful in getting it. I can't do it, but I could. My idea was, okay, I'll just fill it out and you guys look at it and send it in.
Right.
But it's just a shot in the dark, but you know, we've never asked for any of that kind of stuff that I'm aware of, and you.
Not with USDA, no.
Yeah. So it is part of a community program, community development program, but it's, when you start reading that stuff, you really don't know what you're asking for.
We haven't. Did you? Des, I think she sent it to both of them. We have a new USDA representative. Have you received that? Or based on that look, I'm gonna guess no. Because I just got an email not very long ago from our new USDA contact person, for lack of a better word. So
Well, I'd like to get that as
yeah,
well.
I'll try to circle back on getting connected.
Sure.
What's that? I don't remember her name off the top of my head.
She's Oprah, isn't she? That's the name I remember.
Oh, maybe it is Oak, maybe it's not
She's out
USDA.
of
It might be.
Florida. She
It might
actually
be.
came visited us. and
It
that
might
made-
be Oak or not. I might be mixing those two up. It
Yeah,
might have.
what USDA, she's Oprah. And we got about the changes in our representatives
So it's
for
continuous.
6 months.
Yeah.
She was helpful, but they don't have anything that I could avail
Right.
themselves of without putting up a lot of money out of.
Right.
As far as training, last month, I went through the safety recertification class that was hosted by American Health, and they did that for free for us. I do have a couple requests. It's in regard to the money that Don got us. Just the Kenwood mobile radio for the 2014, it currently does not have one. I got a quote from J&K. That quote is $3,730.87 for the mobile radio for the in-car. And then it should have been, I messed up on our report. It should have been the laptop, not the Motorola encryption key, because I'm still waiting to hear back from VRS on a quote for that.
You still don't have a number for that? yet?
Yeah, they said it was. They said it wouldn't exceed 1,200, but I don't have a firm number on that yet. So I got to reach back out to them. I haven't heard back.
So
but
this
the-
1,200 is the laptop.
No, this 1,200 is for the Motorola encryption key for the Motorola radios that we currently have, the N cars. So when they switched over to phase 2, some of the channels are encrypted, and those channels I can hear on the Motorola radios on the N cars. The main channel at County Law is unencrypted, and a couple of the others, but all the ops channels, all the ERT channel task forces are encrypted. So I'm just waiting to hear back from ERS.
On a fine. Okay.
Yes,
Got it.
yep, correct.
Yeah, what about the you mentioned a laptop.
Yeah, I forgot to put that in the council request, but I did attach a quote. It's on the last page of my report. And the quote that I got was $814.95 to replace the outdated laptop and the Dodger.
Seems like a bargain for everything else. Huh?
How much was the purchase of the two mobiles that we purchased? That like 6,500?
That was like 2,800 a piece.
Okay.
Our grant request was for $6,027. That was based upon some earlier, it was one portable and one in-car.
So at this point, the radios that have already been purchased for 5,600, Kenwood Mobile, the laptop, and the encryption update all would be covered and spend less than the 12,000.
Well, but the way we were approaching it is that the grant is, we needed it quickly, so we're just, took a while to get the grant money to give it back to you to utilize for that function. If you're following me.
So in layman's terms, we used the grant money to purchase
I'm
radios.
repaying what your advance was on our behalf.
Well, and we received the donation to help cover one of those radios,
Yeah.
correct? So,
But also, when you started out, I just kind of remember numbers to do everything right was about $20,000, wasn't it?
I don't think it was quite that high.
It wasn't that high. That was
4 portables, 3 in-cars.
that was for the Motorola's.
Yeah.
Were higher.
Which we went with a Kenwood instead of
Oh,
Motorola to save quite
Because
a
at
bit of
that point in time, we didn't have,
Okay.
yeah.
because it's about half, so it's more like 10,000 total with the Kenwood radio.
Well, you spent more than my 12,000. Close to it. Say yes.
Yeah, but I make a motion that we move forward on each of these communication items with the police department. Utilizing grant money where it's available, the donation that's already been given.
I'll second it.
Any questions or comments? Aaron and Rhonda, all in favor? 5-0.
And I just got a couple more things here real quick. Countywide switchover was last Wednesday. Everything went fine. Our Kenwoods are working perfect. Just the only issues are with the Motorola radios with that encryption, the in cars. All the Kenwoods are working just fine. You can hear everything. Again, I want to thank Tom.
Yeah.
for the
There's our whole committee. I mean,
I appreciate that. It's huge for the police department. For all of us. And then the revised ordinances, I got them updated and sent over to Brittany to have her update the website for the current version of the ordinances that we amended in the last council meeting. And other than that, that's all I need.
Yeah, briefly touch on which ordinances were amended.
It was the speed limit ordinance, making it, everything in town is 25 miles an hour with the exception of Highway 13. What was the other one?
Speed limit, the no parking.
Oh yeah, no parking change on Lyons west of 13. And what was the third?
Golf cart,
Oh, it is,
to bring the permit fee up, because it was still in the ordinance of $10,
it was just a correction more than anything to make it correct.
basically, yeah.
Well, anybody else have anything that you would like to bring tonight?
Our Swayze Days committee met.
Okay, great.
Swayze Days next year is going to be a 2-day event, Friday, August 21st and Saturday, August 22nd. We did get our 501c3 status last week, and we're going to wait on Kyle to get back from vacation to help us get bylaws and constitution set up, and then we will open an account down here at the bank.
Let's pass.
It was a lot faster than even he thought. And he worried about it because he said the state usually doesn't grant it for festivals and parades. But we did some reasoning with it and some wording, Kyle did, and made it. It was accepted.
Oh,
great.
So, anything else, Heather?
Not for Swayze Days, I don't think. But I do have something else.
Okay.
George, the custodian at Swayze, approached me again about what they call Garfield Park.
Garfield.
Yeah. If we can have, and I can get numbers to whoever if I have to. He knows, or I guess there's just a lot of cleaning up that needs to be done. Plant wise, mowing wise, painting Garfield or updating him a little bit because he's getting a little peely. But he has an idea of what he, because I don't see it every day like he does. So if we can get somebody to reach out to him and maybe coordinate a time to go out there and see what exactly his requests are, I think we acknowledge that that was our responsibility, not Swayze School, correct? George Lake. He's unavailable for a little bit of time. He had a death in the family, so I don't know when he might be back at the school, but I just told him, he asked me again last week and I told him I would bring it back up again today.
Yeah, everything. 8:18, I make a motion we adjourn.
Second.
Aaron, Heather, all in favor? I vote no.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Nobody knows what happened at one test.